Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Emma. You're at Crime Stories Obsessed. Co-host tonight, Kat. Hi everyone. Hope you're doing well from wherever you are in the world.
Hi everyone. I can't see us on the screen right now, Em.
No, well we're not showing our faces anyway, so I don't suppose it matters too much. But yeah, you've got me and you've got Kat. So we're going to be talking tonight about the Kylie Rodney case. We've got quite a lot to go over, including there'll be some things you might not have heard of or seen, and also my theory on what I think happened, which to me makes sense. Whether or not you think it makes sense, I don't know. Let me just say hi to a few people. Hi, Candice. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Nana of 7.
Who else we got? Susie.
Joe Pro's here.
Oh, Joe. Leah. Judy. Diane. Oh, everybody's here. Well, the first thing I want to talk to you tonight about is, hey, Kelly. Just in regards to the Summer Wells case, really quickly, I reached out to the uppers. Okay. The uppers. Just saying that makes me want to laugh, guys. The uppers. Like, what for fuck's sake? Like, what degree do you have to be to be an upper, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is what I said. Hi, Chris. My name is Emma. Nice to meet you. I have a YouTube channel, so being honest from the beginning, and I was wondering if you would allow me to interview you, just so we can talk nicely and respectably regarding the Summer Wells investigation. I very much understand that a lot of the information is behind the scenes, and, you know, you might not be able to talk about that. But I would be very interested to speak with you. I really hope you don't mind me reaching out to you. So this is the message I got back. Hello, Emma. Thank you very much for your interest in this case. We need everyone talking and praying for Summer Wells. I'm sorry, but we don't make a habit of giving interviews. We were contacted by someone this week, and they said they had information about Summer's case, just to find out that they were someone on YouTube on a channel and had recorded our conversation. Some of you may have seen that. Anytime we have spoken to anyone on YouTube, they tend to misquote or spin the conversation to fit their narrative. So I hope you will understand our need to work quietly behind the scenes and stay focused on Summer's case. Again, we thank you for keeping the Summer's case out there and not letting it go cold. Pray for a positive outcome, and we hope you have a blessed day. So, Kat, a positive outcome. After 15 months, do we think she's suddenly going to go walking up the path, up the driveway? Hi, everyone, I'm home.
Yeah, I think the PIs or the uppers, up of their own asses, whatever they're called, really need to go get a reality check. They're being paid to look, to search, to investigate this case. And what have they done in 14 months? Because they sure as hell haven't found Summer, have they? So, yeah, nice knowing you, uppers. Get down off your high horse, get a reality check. That's what I'd say.
I was fine reading it, and just till I got to that bottom paragraph, and I just thought, what exactly could happen in the way of Summer being found now after 14, 15 months, right? That could be positive. What could be a positive outcome?
The only positive outcome that's going to happen is Candace and Don in silver bracelets in a 4x4 cell. You know, that's about the only positive outcome there is left. Hi, Mamie.
Hi, Mamie. Yeah, so I was reading it, and it sounded okay until I got to that. I just thought, is he serious? What positive outcome could there possibly be? She's been trafficked. Well, that's not positive. She's been abducted for God knows what. Well, that's not positive, is it? You know, that her parents did her in. Well, that's not positive. You know, is there a positive really out of all of the scenarios?
Well, their positive outcome is that they're still getting paid to do absolutely nothing. So it's a great win-win situation for them, isn't it? heaven forbid they don't do their investigations and find out that someone's a YouTuber before they speak to them and the conversation's recorded, right? Are these people not private investigators? They can't even check out that someone might be a YouTuber before they start talking to them. Yeah, really great private investigators. Thumbs up.
Good detective work there. Good detective work. I'll just talk to this random man that I have no idea who he is. And I didn't know he was recording me.
He turned out to be a YouTuber, man. All that training. I couldn't even figure that one out.
I suppose he's not a psychic, though, is he? He's just...
Yeah, might have a few things at his disposal that could have predicted that, though.
Seriously.
They've got information on the Summer Wells case after 14 months. That couldn't possibly be anyone that's going to record my conversation and put it on YouTube. Oh, no, this person. Oh, I can't. You know what I'm like? I got no time for all that BS.
Oh, no. Although he sounded nice, he also sounded very fucking naive.
Well, also, what's that have a blessed day shit? That's the kind of stuff they say in The Handmaid's Tale. Blessed day, blessed day.
Oh, God. Right. So anyway, guys, getting back to the situation, we're here to talk about Kylie Rodney. Just thought I'd let you know. Did try and get him on the channel so that we could talk about Summer Wells, but wasn't interested. So the uppers will remain up there on their high horses for now. Okay. So, Kylie Rodney. So let me get my photos up. If there's anything comes up in the chat, you might need to let me know, Kat, because I can't see the chat when I've got the photos up.
Well, about now, I can only see the screen. I can't see either of us on the screen at all. So hopefully your photos will come up.
Let's have a look.
Right, yep. We're there too now. I can see.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Right, so here we go. Kylie Rodney. Beautiful, beautiful girl. Now, I don't know if any of you will watch this. I'm sure some of you have. But I made a documentary style story about Kylie, and I put a lot of work into it. It took me all day. I would just show you the very 30 seconds of it. The link is in the chat if you haven't already seen it, but I'd love for you to go and watch it because it was actually it turned out to be quite good. So let me show you, if I do say so myself. Right, wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Right, so I just 30 seconds or so. The disappearance of missing 16-year-old California teen Kylie Rodney after she did not return home from a party the night prior.
Emma, can you take the photo off the screen?
Kylie buffering. Yeah, is it buffering?
It's buffering, but also the photo is still on the screen. In the video.
Morning, tried to call her daughter.
Thank you.
Was it actually shared?
Yeah, the audio's a bit messed up, Em. You had the video and the photo on the screen. Right? You took the photo off and then the video.
It seems to be buffering.
Yeah, it was buffering.
It seems to. Yeah, it's buffering too bad. It's not. Sometimes if your internet's not brilliant, you have enough trouble just trying to do what you're doing here. Then when you add on top of that, trying to share videos and things like that, it can be difficult. But anyway, let's get back to where we were. But if anybody's interested, it took me quite a while to make. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. I'd really like it if you check it out. So Kylie went to this party. Okay. She arrived at this party after, telling her mum she'd be home at whatever time it was, something past 11, was it? And she went with her best friend, Max. And after 10 minutes, as we know, she went off with her boyfriend. Apparently that was already organised. Seems a bit strange to me that you go and just leave your best friend at a party where she doesn't know anyone. I mean, doesn't really make much sense to me at all, to be honest, but there you go. I mean, I don't know what you think about that, Kat.
What about her going to a party without a boyfriend? Well, I guess, I don't understand really why he didn't go. She was offered to go to Hot August Nights or something it's called, and she didn't want to go to that. She did want to go, but then she went to the party instead. But yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know why anyone would have gone to it anyway. The bits of photos that I've seen, it wasn't really much of a party. But anyway, I guess that's besides the point now.
Yeah, well, I heard that they'd split up. I think, from what I can see, the photos of her and Jagger go back as far as like the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. So I think they've been together a little bit, for kids that age. And I've got a feeling that it was Kylie that split up with him, because we've heard Sammy say, she just wanted to be single. She just wanted to be here having a good time and on her own, sit as single. But then she turns up with Mags, a best friend, the bestest friend out of everyone. She spends 10 minutes with Mags. Mags goes, right, see you later. I'm leaving you in this crowd of people. You don't know anyone, and I'm off with my boyfriend now. Well, whether that was organised or not, if we'd gone to a party together, me and you, Kat, and you knew no one there, and my boyfriend Boulos turned up, I'm not going to leave you in the middle of the shopping party and go, get on with it then, see you later.
I should hope not. That'd be very rude. No, I don't think you should ban friends anyway. It doesn't really matter how old you are or, what kind of state you're in even. If you go to a party with someone, it is kind of, considerate to spend some time with them at the party.
Well, yeah, it just seems really odd to me why a best friend would just leave. And we don't know why Jagger didn't go. We don't know if it's because maybe he wasn't invited by Kylie because they weren't together or what. Now, I don't think she had a massive group of friends, but whether she was trying to fit in there, because I don't know why she was hanging around with this Sammy. She didn't know her. I have screenshots here from Kate where she says, somebody said, why do you think she left Kylie there? Is it normal because you all arranged to go home by yourselves usually, ? Or do you not find that odd? Kate says, yes, I also find that odd, that they didn't go home together. I was looking for the Kate one where she said that they weren't friends. Let me just get that up. No, Sammy and Kylie never hung out. So this is from Kate. Never hung out. They never hung out together. I'm not some more somewhere. But don't you just think that's a bit? I don't know which ones these are. So I was asking whether or not Sammy would ever do anything. And she said, no, Sammy would never do anything like that. And I said, just a thought. I asked her if they were friends, why they were hanging out together. It's so slow waiting for these screenshots to come up at my end. Yeah, she said Sammy and Kylie were never really friends. but I think Sammy feels responsible because she put the party together. So a couple of bits we'll get to in a. So she did say, when I asked her if, I said, I know that what teens are like. I've been one too a long time ago. Would Kylie try something thinking it was just a popper or, something, nothing too bad? And she said, if she was coerced by someone, it's a possibility, but not on her own. So peer pressure, basically.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at that age, teenagers are vulnerable to that kind of scenario, aren't they? Everyone else is doing it, so you give it a try, kind of thing.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm just trying to work out at which point to start going into my theory. Okay, so this is a car. We know that. That's her car. How much, what do you think they took that night or drank? Do you think that they were both highly intoxicated? She'd never been before. She didn't know anyone, maybe to feel, relaxed. Would she take more or take something that she wouldn't normally take to try and fit in with this older crowd? Possibility, who knows? But obviously that was on offer. There were things on offer there, and we don't know what she took. And I don't think we're ever going to get a straight answer unless we get some toxicology reports, which may be sealed. Now, we some of you might have seen the video recently, and it was of another party, but it was very close to this one. And the boys were doing wheelies in the car. It all looked a bit dangerous. The boys were doing wheelies, hanging out of the cars, basically flirting with the girls and trying to show off. I don't know if a lot of you saw that video. It seemed to be going around a few channels. But that's the kind of thing I'm guessing that they were probably doing at this party. Similar age kids, having a good time, okay, drinking, etc. So, no, I wouldn't either, Leah. Where am I? Okay, so I'm going to start getting into my theory, and then we'll bring up some screenshots as well. Okay. This is my theory. I feel that night she'd had quite a bit to drink, and she'd also possibly taken something that she wouldn't normally take, whether to try and fit in or what, I don't know. I also think that she was not the one driving that car. I think that they went back to the car to charge their phones, okay? And I think that they arranged the lift home, and she said, yeah, I'll give you a lift. And I don't think Sammy ever went back into that crowd looking for a lift from somebody else. I think she stayed with Kylie in the car at this point, as it was getting later. At what point I think Sammy made a decision that it was probably best if she drove the car back and took Kylie home. Whether Kylie was on the back seat, slumped and passed out at this point, or whether she's in the front seat, but she's just intoxicated and she can't see what's going on. So I think, let me just get this up. Because it's saying here, higher doses, they're talking about mushrooms and things like that. High doses can cause sensory overload, issues with vision, sensitivity to light and sound, coordination issues, confusion, all that kind of stuff. So I think at this point, Sammy decided to drive Kylie's car. Whether for one reason or another, I don't know if it was to take Kylie home or because they were driving and messing around on the sand, doing wheelies, whatever they were doing. And I think they ended up in the water. I think Sammy got out of the car by either smashing the driver's window, which is the left-hand side window if you're actually sat in the car, and got out quickly. But I don't think Kylie did, because she was either in the back, asleep on the back seat, or she was in the front seat slumped and not coordinated enough to, or quick enough to get out of the car. That's why I think Sammy's vision of the back of the car, seeing the Ram sticker and everything, is such a big thing in her mind. She remembers this Ram sticker on the back of the car. She remembers that it had hubcaps. Well, I've met Kat once in person. Okay. Kylie and Sammy, right, were not friends. They never hung out. Okay. So I'm just going to say now that I've met Kat and I've seen her car. But I can tell you now that I wouldn't have a frigging clue whether she had a sticker and exactly where it was placed in the back of her car, or whether she had hubcaps or not. I wouldn't have no clue at all. But Sammy, in that interview, was able to say exactly where that sticker was, exactly what that sticker was, the fact that the car had hubcaps. How, unless you are stood at the back of that car watching it go into the water?
Right. Which I kind of think, is the only way that makes sense, that Sammy knew what that sticker was on the back of her car, because it's almost like a jolted memory, isn't it? Or like a traumatic memory. When you're watching the car go under the water, the last thing you're going to see is the sticker on the back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, as well, is I don't think that Sammy's the only person that knew that happened either. Because I agree with your theory. I do think that Sammy either was driving the car and the car ended up in the water, or the car was helped into the water for a reason with Kylie in it. But yeah, I think that the one thing that she seemed to really have a really clear memory of, considering that she wouldn't have even known what Kylie's car was because she didn't hang out with her or anything. Considering that, she had a very clear memory of that sticker.
Oh, yeah. On the back. To say that she never hung out with her.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is this. Just get it up for you. Now, bear in mind that it's dark. No street lights. This is not a built-up area. The only lights at this party are the ones that are wrapped around those trees, and anything coming from any headlights there. That's it. Right? There's no lights around the reservoir. There's nothing. So this is if you were driving and somebody put this on Facebook and you cannot see that water. So you could drive towards this and not even see it. So what do you make of that?
Well, the thing that weirds me out about all of this is that I don't think that the car was slowly driven into the water, and I don't think it belted down the hill into the water either. But either way, there would have been tyre tracks on that sand unless the tyre tracks were cleared up afterwards, because The car went down that, it's quite a steep sand embankment thing to the water there.
Oh,
It would
yeah.
have been
And then you
visible
can't see.
the next morning when she was reported missing, and they started flying helicopters and drones and everything else over there, and investigating the scene of the party and all of that, which was remarkably clean considering there'd been 300 people all there drinking the night before. No one noticed any tyre tracks leading down into the water. Are you sure? It just doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It makes me feel like the car was driven into the water one way or another, and the tyre tracks were then covered up afterwards by witnesses or people that know what happened on that night.
Yeah.
It was too clean a scene for someone to have not noticed that a car had gone down that hill into the water that night. She wasn't found for 2 weeks. That car was not found for 2 weeks.
No.
If it
No.
hadn't have been cleared up afterwards, someone would have seen that there were tyre tracks leading from that party 500 yards off that, down that beach, whatever it's called, that little peninsula thing there, and into the water. There would have been tyre tracks. It doesn't make sense that there was no tyre tracks found.
No, I think that either somebody went over and started trying to cover the tire tracks over, or I think that they were doing lots of wheelies and messing around on the sand, and there were a lot of tire tracks, so you couldn't actually distinguish a particular set of going anywhere, in particular.
I'm not entirely sure about that, because I just think that the tracks leading into the water would have been the most obvious sign that something had gone on there. If there was tons and tons of tyre tracks where they've been pulling donuts and all of that in the sand, that would have been noticed as well, and it wasn't noticed. And the site was clean. There was no rubbish, no cups, no aftermath of a party there. Apparently the adults had all gone, the parents of these kids had all gone and cleaned it up. Well, why? Like, literally, why would you clean up tyre tracks? If you could see that those tyre tracks led to the water, then that's the first place that you would search for the car. The first place, not the last place. Doesn't make sense.
No, I completely agree. So whether somebody's gone back the following day and dusted them over, I don't know, because it hasn't just been picked up by a digger and thrown in, has it? It's got to have gone in somehow.
I believe whoever knew that that car had gone into the water was the same persons or people that were responsible for clearing up that whole entire site that night.
The parents, apparently.
Because there's no, if they'd have just left it as it was and all left the scene at 12:30, which by the way was the last time that Kylie's phone was turned on. They all left the scene at 12:30, and the next morning there's not a sight or sound from this party camp thing where they were that there'd been anyone there who cleared up, who cleaned up the evidence, who cleared the scene. Way too dodgy, in my opinion.
So this seems to have jumped off my screen. Let me get it back up. So this is, if anybody's not seen it, this was posted on Facebook, and some random person asks the question to Placer County Sheriff's Office chat. Why haven't you all looked into Sammy yet? Question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark. Unbelievable. So somebody else underneath, another random person, comments, how do you know they haven't? Because obviously we don't know if they have or they haven't. So Placer County Sheriff's Office likes the comment, how do you know we haven't? So Placer County Sheriff's Office likes that comment, as well as Meg, the best friend of Kylie, which makes me think that they're all questioning whether or not Sammy was involved.
They said quite early on, didn't they, in one of the press conferences, that if we've thought it, you can bet your bottom dollar that they've thought it too. I think that was quite a clever way of saying, if you've thought it, then, you can guarantee that we're thinking it too. She made herself so prominent right from the start. I mean, she's been quiet.
Yeah, she's been doing too much. Too
Right. She
much.
was so extra. She was just saying all of this stuff that was just like random stuff and stuff that no one asked her. She put herself in the middle of the investigation, like really, 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 really early on, but in a way to kind of almost seem like she was deflecting and detracting away from what actually happened that night. Even so far as when Adventures with Purpose found the car and put out a thing to say that they found Kylie's remains in the car. She posted on their Twitter feed saying, "It's not Kylie. We're still investigating it. We haven't determined that it is Kylie," and all of this stuff. It's like, oh, really? Okay. Oh, she said, "Oh, the family hasn't been informed." Well, actually, the grandfather and her father were there within 8 minutes of Adventures with Purpose calling them. So the family had been informed. So why did Sammy take it upon herself to actually go out and say that the girl's parents hadn't been informed and all of this? I mean, she's
Oh,
sideways. That
I know. Well, I've got that to come as well in a bit, but this was also a comment that somebody left. Earlier today, I met a couple whose daughter is friends with a girl that attended the party. They were all talking, and the girl said she saw Kylie there. She was extremely out of it. She could not speak and could barely walk. The girl and her parents met with LE to report this. Supports the theory that Kylie was drugged or possibly roofied, and also brings into question once again why Sammy kept saying she had drank everything that she drank.
right. Why does she feel the need to say that? Why does she feel the need to let everybody know that, Kylie was that so out of it, but she can't have been drugged because I drank out of everything she drank out of,
Yeah.
And if she had have drank out of everything Kylie had drank out of, then she would have been in the same state as Kylie, you presume.
Yeah.
Okay, Kylie was a bit younger than her, but still, there was no reason why Kylie would handle that amount of alcohol or whatever they're suggesting that she had any better than Sammy would have done.
Yeah. Well, going back to the tire tracks, because there's a comment here in the chat saying, excellent show. Thank you. You guys have got it. I think if car tracks were covered, it was an accident, dent, or purposeful. Now, going back to that, first of all, thank you for your comment. The parents were, what I was told, they were the people that apparently tidied up the next day. Because that was the arrangement. They'd said, we'll make sure it's tidied up. Sammy had organised it. So I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, that her parents went the next day to help her tidy up.
Yeah, which is dodgy as well. Because why would you go clear up a scene when you know by that point that someone's missing and it's now a possible crime scene? They're searching for your missing friend right now. So why are you going to clear up a crime scene or a potential crime scene? That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
And also the people that own the campground said there was no party. They weren't even aware there was a party.
I think there was. I don't think it was particularly a party. I think there was probably a gathering. We've seen the photo. It looked like there was about, 50 to 100 people there. I don't think there was 300 people. I think maybe if you add two parties together, there maybe was a party somewhere else a little bit close to them. But I don't think their party, we've seen no evidence of there being any more than about 50 to 100 people stood there. I don't think.
Well, it was no sort of party that I've ever been to, let's put it that way. It seemed more like it could have been like a cruise, like where people meet up in their cars to just, like people do it here. They just meet up in their cars to drive around car parks all night and pull donuts. And
Yeah, we call it boy racing. I don't know what they call it in America. It's called boy racing here. So like they'll just go out and they're just showing off, aren't they? And basically driving around like lunatics, doing wheelies and all that. They're excited. They've just passed the test, haven't they? And you know what?
Yeah.
But what else have I got? So this is another thing that you might have heard it on another channel, but I saw it today and I was like, whoa. So this is from All American Dream Chaser. He interviewed, if somebody can put his link in the chat, that would be great. all-American dream chaser. But he did an interview with Sammy. I think he's the only person that interviewed her. And he had a map. And he was asking Sammy, is this map correct? The distance between Sammy's house and the campground. Okay, it's not a difficult question.
No.
Is this arrow correct? The distance between her house and the campground. Listen to her response.
Okay. She lived fairly close. Is picture correct? She was about 12 miles away. The Prosser family campground was roughly about 12 miles from her house. Is that correct?
That dot is not exactly where she was located. It's a little bit more to the right and towards the little blue lake that you can see.
It's not exactly where she was located. Right. Can we just go back a little bit, rewind here. She's not been found. This was 2 weeks ago, guys. She was found a week ago. This was 2 weeks ago when they were still searching for her. And this girl slips up in an interview.
She lived fairly close. Is picture correct? She was about 12 miles away. The Prosser family campground was roughly about 12 miles from her house. Is that correct?
That dot is not exactly where she was located. It's a little bit more to the right and towards the little blue lake that you can see up from it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys? She basically told where Kylie was in that moment. She basically said where she was. The only way she'd know where she was at that point and where she was located at that point would be if she knew what happened that night. It's not rocket science, is it?
No, nobody else knew where she was.
Right, and at this point of the interview as well, if anyone goes over and watches that interview on that channel, I just posted the link. She starts to really completely deteriorate as well in her narrative, because completely deteriorates. Like she totally notices that she
loses
said that.
It.
Yeah, she loses the plot at that point.
Yeah, she spoke fairly freely throughout the whole interview, and as soon as it got to the important part, she lost it. She completely lost it. If you've not watched that interview, guys, it is so telling to me personally. I'm not telling you that any of this is fact. I don't know. I wasn't there. So this is all just my theories, my thoughts on the situation, what I feel, what I've seen from looking at Facebook and YouTube. You can all make your own minds up. Please don't go over and harass anyone. I'm sure you wouldn't. But again, like I'm saying, this is just my thoughts and opinions on things. But I honestly feel that she was not the one driving that car that night. I think Sammy was driving the car. I think they were both intoxicated, but I feel that Sammy thought that she was probably less intoxicated than Kylie. And maybe Kylie was out of it and on the back seat, as that one person had said before. She couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, she was laid on the back sleep. Sammy thought, I'll do the right thing, I'll drive her home, can't leave her here all night. Next thing they know, they're in the water. And she jumps out, gets out of the window, whatever. And Kylie's left stuck on the back seat of the car. And Sammy just stands there possibly and watches that car go down. That's my thought on it. Okay. So taking that into consideration, AWP arrive. They're like, right, because at this point, this sheriff's office that are supposed to be doing their job and searching for her can't find her. And so Adventures with Purpose go in, and we all held our breath as they went looking for her. And not long after they'd gone in, they recovered the car that they felt was hers. So given the fact that the family were literally on scene within minutes, this was put out in the media, and many of you have probably seen it. It's with a heavy heart and a great sadness to share that Kylie Rodney has been found. Please keep her friends and family in your thoughts today. Thank you to Adventures with Purpose, all law enforcement agencies, and everyone who helped. And they, Adventures with Purpose, said, we have just found Kylie Rodney. Prayer hands. Car upside down in 14 feet of water, etc., etc. Of course, people started commenting, tagging Sammy in it. Sammy responds with, this is, to me, this is panic mode. Okay, this is panic mode. It has not been confirmed whether or not this information is true. This post has been made before any law enforcement or family have been notified. Law enforcement is going out there now to confirm the information. Please be patient as we figure this out further. Yeah, as to whether or not this is true. So that to me is panic.
Better check your attitude there, Sammy. Her grandparents, or her grandfather and her father, were there within 8 minutes of AWP calling them, which was before you managed to post this. So, and also the thing that really bugs me about this person, and not just her, but I think Jagger was doing it as well right at the beginning, was this whole, we are investigating it, we are looking into it, the information should come to us first so we can filter it. Enforcement, all of this kind of stuff. I mean, I get that people are now thinking that Jagger probably had nothing to do with it and all of this, but that kind of behaviour is really sus. And especially when there is an active and ongoing investigation, you don't ask people on social media to filter information through you before it goes to law enforcement. Sammy's not an investigator at the end of the day. She can't keep posting on we are investigating this. You're not investigating anything, love. In fact, as soon as AWP got to Truckee, she got out of Dodge. She's gone. Her and her parents are gone.
Was it Montella or something?
Montana, yeah. She went to Montana the day that AWP arrived on the scene. I mean, your friend has just been found, and you're out of state. Well, what are you doing out of state? I thought you said you were going to be around until this was solved, and etc., etc. It's like, really? So you're going to leave her right now, your friend? Yeah. Okay. All right, Sammy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that initially the things that she was doing, as I said before, and you've already said, like, it was just too much. I don't know. I think she feels, this is my opinion, that she feels responsible, like Kate said, because she'd organised the party, for A. I think B, I think she was driving the car. She feels even more responsible because she's the one that put them in the water in the first place. My opinion, allegedly. C, I think she'd given her something other than alcohol, and they were laughing and saying, oh yeah, try this. And I think she's probably had a bigger reaction than they expected. And so obviously couldn't drive her own car. I think, and she's watched, and D, I think she feels responsible because she watched to go down, didn't tell anyone, and didn't get help. So they're my 4 reasons dropping my microphone, to suggest that I think that is the reason why she feels responsible. I don't know what you guys think, but however, authorities are obviously now under a lot of pressure to explain, like, why they spent 20,000 man hours looking for this missing teenager when a group of volunteer divers come in and quickly find her within however many minutes. Not to mention that they'd already searched this reservoir next to this campsite already, further than the depth that they'd actually found her, deeper. So, it kind of has shown them up to be a little bit, I think they looked quite embarrassed, to be honest. I think at the point where they were having that press conference the other day. But then this, okay, now I don't know what you're going to think to this, but this, as soon as I saw this, I thought, oh my God, this goes with my theory. Okay, you have to bear with me because I can't, the screenshots are so small on here, I can't see what's next. Basically, right, so this was their rescue team, the sheriff's office, and they were just saying that they'd used, this was them showing off basically at the beginning, saying, you know, we've searched and we've been using equipment with lights and underwater color cameras and sonar and a robot arm and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And then they don't find her, and Adventures with Purpose did. So I thought I'll show you that just for a second. And then this was the private investigator for Kylie's family. He said on Twitter, I confirm that Kylie was familiar with Prosser. She was used to off-roading. As we've seen on Jagger's Instagram page, he showed videos of Kylie off-roading in that car. She was experienced at driving off-roads and cold streams, train tunnels. And she, what was it you were saying, Kat? She'd got a license.
Yeah, she learned to drive like that on private land. So she's, like I said, she's really experienced. She's not going to just take the wrong turn off a road and end up in the water. It's not going to be that cut and dried.
No, but yeah, I agree. So this,
Emma, you've got to see private. I know you can't see. You've got a super chat, but you can't see the chat because you've got pictures on the screen from Robin. So just said thank you, Robin. That's very kind of you.
Oh, thank you, Robin. Let me go back. I was in my photos, just about to put another photo on the screen. How far back was it?
Quite far. I'm just seeing if it's still in the chat.
I've got it. Oh, thank you, Robin. That's really kind of you. Thank you very, very much.
The water goes, Susie was just asking how rapidly the water drops off to depth from the shore. It's about 2 meters and then suddenly drops off to like 14 meters. It's quite quick.
Yes. If you look at this little video, and it's only like, 30 seconds long, it actually shows you the incline of the vehicle coming out of the water. So you can see right at the shore level, the inclines, how quickly it goes down. I'll show you. So I've kind of speeded it up because otherwise would have been sat here for like 10 minutes, but probably longer. But as you could see on that, as they were taking her out, the car out right at the very end, you could see it was still on an angle, even though they were right near the shore.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. I've got a new member. Thank you so much. Dr. Debo Cherry. Dr. Debo Cherry. Oh, thank you very much for becoming a member. Welcome to our channel. I'm going to be doing some members' lives. We were talking about it, weren't we, Kat, just before?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it'd be a good idea. I look forward to
that. So I'm just going back in photos again. So the car was pulled out. Sheriff's office had an egg on the face for a little bit. The AWP have got her. Sammy's looking a little bit panicked. After that screenshot of her posting about it can't be her, or it's not being confirmed it's her, she proceeds to, on the same night, deactivate her Facebook completely, all her social media, disappear off on holiday.
Yep. I agree. I think she got out of Dodge. There's a reason why she left to go Montana right at that Pacific
Yeah.
that specific moment in time. In my opinion, your friend doesn't go into the water, your friend doesn't get found, and you disappear off the scene. You know, it's almost as dodgy as Grandis going to Wisconsin within a couple of weeks of summer going missing. You know.
So true. Yeah, so this picture here, this is kind of, somebody put this on Facebook, and it's kind of showing the route along the shoreline in front of the lake, and obviously they were having the party in the trees, so it just shows you how they could have been driving along that sand, you know, just kind of doing wheelies and going off-roading and having a bit of fun. I mean, it sounds like a good time to me, off-roading in a vehicle, no parents to tell you to stop it. You know, I'd have loved that at that age. I could have just seen myself with my ex-boyfriend driving along like that in the car at that age, to be honest, off-roading, not worrying about the dangers, unfortunately, and that happening. But going back to what we were saying before, I do not think that it was Kylie that was driving. I think she was in the back seat or in the front, out of it, fallen asleep, intoxicated, and I don't think she was driving. And I honestly think that that's why Sammy remembers exactly what the back of Kylie's car looks like. And also, somebody put this. Sammy was wet the night and changed clothes. Why? That's interesting. Is it true? Why would Sammy be wet that night unless she'd been in a wet car?
Or in the water.
Yeah.
In some way. I mean, they could have gone swimming, but she wouldn't have gone swimming in her clothes, would she? Let's put it that way. She wouldn't have needed to change her clothes because they were wet if she'd gone swimming in her clothes, you know?
No.
You know, that direction on the map that you just showed there, the direction that the car would have gone.
Yeah.
I don't believe that anyone did that by accident. That's a real off the road. I mean, that road is not all the way down to that water. That's it. That just, to me, that just seems like a real... I don't think Sammy was driving her home. Let's put it that way. If Sammy was driving, she didn't go that way.
No. That was just showing somebody had said, you know, this was a route that they could have taken, I think. Yeah. This person...
It was meant to be 300 people at that party. That's at least 150 cars if they all carpooled with one other person. It's a lot of cars in that area. I don't know. Something really, really, really stinks about this whole thing.
What about this theory then? It's not just them that were doing this. There was a few cars, all with a couple of friends in, all driving along, the boys as well, doing wheelies on the sand, off-roading, some of them going near the water and kind of swerving as they get to the edge, messing about. She goes in, does Kylie's car, whether it be Sammy driving or not, and they're all like, oh my God. And everybody says, right, we're just not going to speak about it. Because to tell you there were 300 people there and not one photo uploaded.
Right.
That tells me that was a mass cover-up.
In the social media generation of a generation that's grown up sending their selfies to Instagram and YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else, not one of them can produce a photo of the party of the century, as Sammy described it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was the party of the century. I mean, I think it's been likened to like Woodstock or something, you know. This was a hot party, and yet not one person's got a photo to show.
No.
Don't believe it.
Well, this random person on Facebook, no photo, could be somebody just pissing about like they do, because, you know, there's sad sickos out there that would do that kind of thing.
Unfortunately.
But this person could be real, who knows? But they're saying, and keep in mind, I think they're talking to Sammy basically, keep in mind, I have my messages to show where I begged you to help her.
Right.
So was this somebody there that night that saw the car go in and saw and said to Sammy, God, go and help her, quick, go and help her. And she's just watched the car and she said nothing and she's covered it up.
But then why would you text someone to say that? Why would you text them to say, go help her, go help her? You'd say it to their face, wouldn't you? Text them. She would have messages. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't believe that other people there don't know what happened. I believe a lot of people there know what happened. And I really do believe that photo that Sammy took of those people just standing around doing not a lot was an alibi photo. She took it to prove something, that she was there, that there were people there. To me, that was an alibi photo. It wasn't a photo of a party. There was no one drinking, no cups, there was no party going on in that photo. It was just a group of people almost aimlessly staring as if to say, what the hell do we do now, kind of thing.
Yeah, like kind of stood around. All with, did you notice how they all had their backs to you as well? Was there one person in that photo that you could make out a face from? Exactly. No, they were all turned the other way. Right. They were all looking the other way.
They were all looking in the same direction, pretty much.
Exactly. So, and I don't believe there was anything exciting going on behind the scenes that they all needed to be staring at all at exactly that one moment that she took that photo.
Right. I think that was her going back up there with her car and turn the headlights on, take a photo while everybody's looking at where they just heard a huge splash of a car go into the water. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So whether it was one of them driving, I don't know. I kind of would go towards the fact that it was Sammy driving, but it could have been Kylie. But like we say, she's used to driving off-road. So I don't know. Bring alcohol into the mix. Who knows? But I have a feeling that it was Sammy driving, and that's the reason why she feels responsible, because she was driving the car. She wasn't insured. She put the car in the river by accident or whatever. They'd had the substances. She'd given Kylie stuff she probably shouldn't have been giving her, and she let her drown, and she didn't get help. So all of that would have got her in a hell of a lot of trouble, even if she didn't mean to do it. At that point, if that is true, what I've just said, she covered it up. She's covered up a crime because she never reported it. So she's walked away from the scene of a crime. So driving without insurance, etc., she'd have got in trouble. So you're going to cover yourself at that point, aren't you? You're going to have to cover up your mess.
Another thing seems to have mentioned, and they didn't even mention it in the press conference, which I thought was really strange after they recovered her car. One thing I thought that was really strange that nobody mentioned and nobody asked about either in that press conference was her phone. Where is her phone?
Yes. Where is her phone? And when I brought that picture out, it was like, oh, right, yeah. Nobody had seen her phone. Nobody had mentioned her phone. Surely the most important things were Kylie, the car, the phone. Like, those were the most important 3 things that you could... Never mind the frigging hoodie. Never mind the chuffing hoodie. Nobody's interested in the fucking hoodie, right? The phone is going to tell you when the phone went off, who she messaged, who she spoke to, where she was located at all these different times during the night. Surely, like you say, that is a massive bit of evidence that nobody mentioned.
No one mentioned if it was found in the car. No one mentions if it's still missing. No one mentions where it last pinged from. They were so convinced that this was, or they were trying to kind of push the narrative, I guess. Sammy and Jagger were trying to push the narrative that she'd been abducted or trafficked or was over the other side of Mexico or whatever they were saying right early on, that everyone seems to have forgotten that this phone was turned off at 12:30, which is exactly the same time as everybody started leaving that party. Where is the phone?
Yeah.
No one asking that question, because I reckon the answers are on that phone.
Yeah, Exactly. It'll give a location and everything up until the point where that phone went off. I'm also interested to know as well whether that phone was hardcore pressed off. I don't know what they call it, forced down, or whether it went off, as in it was either forced shut down or turned off. Like there's a difference.
Someone
they can tell,
to
can't
turn
they?
off, or it was it's submerged in the water long enough for it to lose power and
damage. Yeah.
No one's talking about the phone. No one seems to be talking, not even the police, not the reporters, not one person asked the question about the phone. And I was sat there all the way from that press conference going, where's the phone? Why is this not a prominent part of the investigation? Why are we not hearing about the phone?
Yeah, that's really why I looked for it and searched all of the photographs. And I know what kids are like. They always have the phone with them. So I searched all the photographs on all of our friends' pages, managed to find a picture of it. And then everybody was like, yeah, but that was taken at a different time. I'm like, for God's sake, guys, just use your brain cells just for a minute, right? I don't care when the fucking photo was taken. Right now, I'm showing you a picture of her phone in case somebody finds it so that they know it's hers. Let's all talk about where the phone is. It's one of the biggest bits of information to do with that night. I don't care when that picture was taken, right? It doesn't matter. Like, but oh God. Anyway.
Well, it bothers me still, because if the phone was in the car, then just say the phone was found in the car. If the phone wasn't in the car, then where the hell is her phone? Because that sounds like someone's forcibly turned her phone off and thrown it into the water somewhere. It doesn't seem like they're even looking for it.
Well, if you ask me, law enforcement will have already been in touch very early on in order to get locations and all sorts from that phone, because they can get hold of the company, can't they? And the company will be able to tell them whether that phone was forcibly shut down or whether it lost power, or whether it was damaged or whatever, or turned off. They'll know all that. So maybe
here's the thing I'm trying to get to, is that if it was an accident and she was driving that car, say for example they're investigating whether it was an accident or foul play, right? If it was an accident, you would think that the phone would still be in the car. If the phone is miles away underwater somewhere that's been thrown out there or dumped in the lake, it doesn't really suggest an accident. It suggests foul play, like someone else turned her phone off and threw it into the water.
Tell me,
I think it's important to find the phone just so that they can rule out whether it's an accident or foul play, just something as simple as that.
Well, I mean, I've got 14-year, well, she's 14 on the 31st. So what's that? 2 days? I don't know, 2 days or something. And so it's a birthday. Yes, 2 days. And she's 14 and her phone never leaves her side. She sits on the toilet with it. She goes out with it. She sits in the car with it. She's in bed with the bloody thing. That phone never leaves her hand, right? So, and the only time that phone goes off is when it loses power, because she's that lazy that she can't be bothered to plug it in. It never, ever gets turned off. I don't think it's ever been turned off, ever. Forcibly shut down, ever. Because kids do not turn their phones off. Kids never put them down.
Yeah.
Especially they weren't kids at 16.
That night, were they, apparently?
Well, apparently not. Apparently nobody took any photos. Everybody uses the same social media platform to upload any photos that they do upload, because God forbid that anybody uploads to Instagram or Facebook anymore. They all have to upload to exactly the same Be Real or whatever that I'd never even heard of before last week.
We're just not down with the kids. That's what
we're not down with the kids. We're getting old. It's showing, guys. It's showing, but we need these youngsters to keep us young. That's what we need.
Right.
Oh God! So for anybody coming in, guys, we are covering the Kylie Rodney case. For anybody that missed the beginning, please check out. It is pinned to the top of the chat. the video that I made recently, the story of Kylie and what's happened, documentary that I made.
Chat, Emma, your membership link is pinned to the top of the chat.
Oh, is it the membership link? Oh, sorry, the membership link is pinned to the chat. I thought I'd put the link to the video that I made the other day.
Posted. The link to the video has been posted a few times. So,
yeah, well, after this, check it out. Also, what I need to mention before we carry on is for anybody who didn't know, I have a second channel, which is a crime documentary channel. There's no like this, you know, where we discuss theories and things. It is just literally lie in bed on a nighttime and listen to a good old documentary. So that is this channel here. Remember, the link I think is in the chat, or somebody will put it in the chat for us. And if you want to binge watch all of those, go sub across. There's loads on there for you to get at. So that's that. Where else have we got? Let's see. Oh, and before we go any further, if you missed it, oh,
yeah, I'm still here. You still there?
Yeah, Bob is really enjoying the TV right now. You know,
Bob is
not right this second. This was the other day, but he absolutely loves watching TV on my knee.
Oh, bless.
He's crazy.
You got a message from Susie in chat.
From Susie.
Susie in chat.
Let me check it out. Because I've got a couple more screenshots to go at. Emma, did you still need me to discuss things? Oh, yes, Susie. Definitely. So a lady commented, Susie commented the other day under one of my videos about the phone being shut down. And she was saying that you can tell, I think she works for a phone company, how, whether it's shut down, whether it's forced. So she said, I asked her if she wanted to come up and tell us about it. Let me just and get my mouse to work. So I'll paste the link. Wait a minute. This computer.
Yeah, I've got a cough. I'm sorry.
Right, there we go. So the link is in the chat now. So if you want to come up, that would be really good. I'm glad you caught that. Cat. It's
That's
bad
okay.
that you can't see the chat when you've got the photos up.
I can't comment in chat from StreamYard. I have to go onto my phone. So I've got like 2 devices open at the same time here.
So she might come up and talk to us. But don't you think it's weird? How would she know that there was a bull sticker? I couldn't tell you what stickers you've got on the back of your car, Cat, and we're friends. I couldn't tell you whether you've got hubcaps.
I don't have any stickers on the back of my car. I mean, I did think of putting one on there that said, I'm not into anal, so stay the hell out of my ass. But I haven't actually put it on yet.
Oh.
So if I ever go missing, you can just tell them I've got a sticker that says that.
Yeah, I'll go online. They'll be interviewing me. Yeah, she's got this sticker. Oh, actually, I can't remember what it said. But yeah, so the link is in the description for you, Susie. If you want to come up, just press on it, and it should bring you into StreamYard. In the meantime, let me see what I've got for you next. Right, yeah. So Sammy, delete.
Just before you do that one, sorry, quickly, go back to that one you was just on a minute ago while I just answer this question quickly, because Wilston makes a really good point. Said, how would Sammy definitely know she was the last to speak to Kylie unless she actually knows she was? Isn't it always really interesting, I think, how the people that profess they were the last to see someone or the last to speak to them, how often, and I'm not saying it's definitely the case in this case, but how often it turns out that that last person to see them or speak to them was actually involved in their demise in some way. I just thought that was a really interesting point.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
I think, yeah, and they slip up and do too much, and it's just little things that I don't think they even realize they're doing at the time, that afterwards they probably think, oh God, I shouldn't have said that, or oops, I slipped up there. I mean, this for me says it all. Okay, this guy, all American dream chaser on YouTube, interviews Sammy. He asks her one question: is this map correct? Is this the distance between Sammy's house and the campground? Listen to her response.
Okay. She lived fairly close. Is picture correct? She was about 12 miles away. The Prosser family campground was roughly about 12 miles from her house. Is that correct?
That dot is not exactly where she was located. It's a little bit more to the right and towards the little blue lake that you can see up from it.
It's not exactly where she was located. This was 2 weeks ago. She'd not been found at this point, guys. She had not been found. She was still missing. She was still under 14 feet of water. Her car was still under there. So was she. And Sammy goes online.
She lived fairly close. Is picture correct? She was about 12 miles away. The Prosser family campground was roughly about 12 miles from her house. Is that correct?
That dot is not exactly where she was located. It's a little bit more to the right and towards the little blue lake that you can see up from it.
Yep. You just told on yourself. Like, seriously, there's only one way you would make that Freudian slip. And that's if you knew what happened in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. What did she mean? Where she was located. And I'll tell you what, if you look at that picture and work out and you go a little bit right, that's exactly where she was found.
Exactly.
So she knew. She was basically telling us all where she was.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, as soon as she slipped up, she backtracked and she was panicking and she was stumbling over her words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She screwed up at that point, and that's the thing. People that do this kind of thing, someone mentioned Ian Huntley earlier, and I agree. People that do this kind of thing, that insert themselves to have to be the one to speak to the media, control the narrative, etc., most often have guilty knowledge, and they will screw up. At some point, they will screw up. At this point, I'm quite convinced that either Sammy did something or has guilty knowledge, like proper guilty knowledge of what happened to Kylie.
Yeah. That interview was 2 weeks old. Sammy, she was found, Kylie was found about 8 days ago. Was it 8 days ago? Certainly not 2 weeks ago. It's just, and after that, she was all over the place with that interview. She was, sorry, all this business. If you ask me, I'm going to see if there's anything else I've got left to show you. But if you ask me, and this isn't a fact, like I've said, because I wasn't there, I don't know what happened. But for me personally, I think she was driving. And I think she's covering for the fact that A, she feels responsible because she organised the party. B, she was driving. C, she didn't have any insurance. D, she let her drown, basically. E didn't report it. And F gave her substances.
And also showed not a bat of eyelid of emotion about the whole thing, ever.
Nope.
Considering you were friends, right?
Maybe she told herself, I need to be really confident here and to show, if I show weakness, they'll take it as a... No, I don't know what this is. Somebody put this on Facebook and it says, her legs are... What did somebody ask her? Oh my God, that's what everyone is saying. So they must have been asking something about Sammy. I don't know because I can't read it, the top bit. And then this person said, her legs are beat up and looks like she tried covering it with paint. Not sure.
Yeah,
so I don't really
writing or something on her legs, isn't it?
Oh, has she got writing on her legs?
White writing, like it's like she tried to write over the scratches and stuff on her legs.
Well, it certainly would be white writing that you'd use if you had red marks on your legs. So this photo is just showing you, obviously the front window is smashed, the mirrors hanging off. Obviously the car's rolled, so you'd expect some damage. What was caused by the rolling? I wouldn't have said that window was smashed due to rolling, because if so, the back window you would have thought would have also been smashed due to rolling, and it wasn't. So I don't know, guys, whether it was Kylie driving and she tried to get out. I don't know, but this is what Adventures with Purpose have said after being there. This is a big ongoing investigation. Yes, we know that, guys, don't we? A lot of answers still out there. Yep, that's their job, please, to sort it out. A lot of questions to be answered. Yep, we know that. The FBI, Nevada County Sheriff's Office, and Placer County Sheriff's Office now have one of the biggest missing clues to the investigation. And I am fully expect can't see that bit. Let me get off that.
Of very heavy stuff to come from this.
A lot of very heavy stuff to come from this. Okay, so first of all, with this, the one thing that you mentioned earlier on, Kat, what was it you mentioned about the FBI?
Well, basically, anyone that lives in the US is going to know this already, so it's kind of like preaching to the choir. But why would the FBI be involved if it was an accident? The FBI doesn't really get involved in things that don't, that aren't federal or criminal or, bigger than an accident. The FBI don't investigate accidents. So I would lay money on the fact that they're treating this as a criminal investigation and not just an accident. That's what it says to me.
Well, if it was just a case of pulling somebody out of a river and doing a toxicology and an autopsy, FBI would be nowhere in sight. They've got better things to do.
Originally, because they were saying that it was an abduction, a possible abduction, and they were, obviously there was a lot of talk about it being a possible abduction, etc. So the FBI were involved for that reason. At the point where they would have considered this to be an accident, the FBI would no longer be involved in the investigation at all. They would have nothing to do with it. It's not their job, They're bigger than an accident. So it makes me wonder.
Yeah, it does me. I mean, it's saying here, obviously they've got one of their biggest missing clues. Yes, which will be the car. It's one of the biggest missing clues to the investigation. But what they say here at the bottom, and I fully expect a lot of very heavy stuff to come from this. What could be heavy coming from missing girl, found girl?
Right.
Unless they know something we don't.
Girl the only thing drives off the sand into water. There's nothing heavy about. I mean, it's heavy, obviously, for her parents and her family and stuff. That's heavy.
Yes, obviously, yeah.
Not an accident. Heavy stuff is way more than an accident.
Yeah, girl found, girl autopsy, blah blah blah. But I just think, what heavy stuff? Like, I mean, what did they see when they looked in that car? Did they see somebody that was laid in a fetal position in the back of the car under a load of mud? Or did they find her down the back seats or in the boot, in the trunk?
Right.
Locked in the trunk? Or, what is it that they've seen that have made them feel that this is it's got a lot of very heavy stuff to come? Just made me think about that. What else is there? Let me just see, because some of this was to read out, but I've just uploaded it all. That was just to do with the possible things that they could have taken. And then somebody said, my theory since the beginning of the case has been this, that Kylie crawled into the back of the SUV and passed out due to boozing. Someone thought it would be funny to push someone's car into the lake, not knowing Kylie was inside and passed out. This is why everyone took off at one time and no one realized Kylie was in the SUV till she failed to return home. Since they pulled the SUV out, it's made me question the theory, but at the same time confirm some parts and raise questions to other parts. If the windows were down, why couldn't she have got out? Well, I suppose if she was asleep. Does that mean she was asleep? Door damage? Yeah. So just somebody querying something there. I think I've shown you most of it. There's one thing I did want to show you, though. This bothered me a little bit. Now, I think most people might have seen this picture. And it's of the back of the car. Now, I think this is from All American Cartel, and they posted like this picture. They kind of highlighted a few areas. Now, obviously, we can see Kylie there. She's the one on the in the middle. Okay. If we have another look from a different angle. Okay. I think they're trying to say that there's some blood or something under Kylie's nose. If there was, why would she have a photograph taken with the blood? You wouldn't, I mean, as a young girl, you wouldn't want to have a photograph taken with blood all over your face. So what was the point? Has somebody photoshopped this? As in, has somebody done something to it, to the picture? Or is that actually blood? So I sat there for ages last night looking at this photo. And if you look at the lady on the left-hand side, she's I don't know what her hand's doing down there. So I thought, right, I'm going to zoom in and see what's going on there on that headrest. And there's what looks like a handkerchief or something there. Now, I mean, that could be a pattern on there. It could be blood. I have no idea. It's probably just a pattern. But as you can see, that doesn't look particularly good, does it? But it's just when we zoom in on this photo, I think they're trying to say that she looks like she's got a bloody nose. I mean, I'd be interested to know what you think, guys. This is the full picture. You can zoom in on it as much as you want and give me your ideas. You know, if you like, copy the photo off the screen and tell me what you think. But I mean, she looks alert there. Certainly, she's sat up, isn't she? I don't know if that's at the point when they're.
Who is that on the top left on top of the car, by the way?
Well, I think that is not supposed to be there, to be honest, because you can't see a body. When you have a look at the big picture, you can't see any legs or anything. So it's almost like that picture's been put there. And I think they're trying to say that that's Sammy.
Right. Well, if they photoshopped that part of the photo, they could have photoshopped the rest of it.
Yeah. Just looks a bit dodgy to me, but I thought I'd kind of ask people what they thought. Obviously, I've not touched it. I've just like literally took it off and thought I'd have a little look at that. So obviously the family have a lot to deal with right now. They've got the fact that she's been found. She, you know, just the thought of having to have an autopsy on your child's, it's not the nicest thought, is it? But it's a necessary. Whether we get any of the toxicology results, whether they leave it open or sealed, I've no idea. Maybe they will open it and say, look, you know, there's so many people that are interested in all of this in Kylie and the case that we're gonna tell everybody, or whether they will keep it all sealed and say, you know, no, this is our daughter. We'd rather just keep it.
Well, I guess that depends on whether it's pivotal and important, whether it's the integral part of what makes the case at the end of the day. If it turns out that she was, you know, the toxicology comes back that she'd taken stuff, she was sat in the driving seat, she drove herself into the water, it was an accident, then it's kind of pivotal. But if she, for example, was already passed before she went into the water and the autopsy doesn't show anything like water in the lungs or anything like that, then it's quite possible they won't even need to reveal the toxicology because the answers will be in the autopsy. So to me, it kind of feels like if it's important, they'll release it, but if it's not, they might not. Let's say hi to Brooke as well, because she's in the chat. So, hey, Brooke.
Oh, hi, Brooks. Nice to see you. I watched you live the other day. It was good. So I don't know. We won't go into it because I'm sure a lot of people have heard that Ryan has been on a few panels, Ryan Upchurch, and he's been talking about the case. And it's kind of a split. A lot of people agree with him and his theory of the fact that this pie didn't exist, Kylie doesn't exist, etc., etc. A lot of people don't agree with him, and you know, I'm not going to comment on that. You know, there's quite a lot.
Don't sit on the fence. Don't get splinters in the backside. Comment on it.
Well, there's quite a lot that he said that I do actually agree with, to be honest. I think a lot of this anime stuff, and I think I do believe a lot of that. But when it comes to Kylie not existing, I can't get my head around that one, to be honest. Right. But then I saw this on Facebook. Placer County Sheriff's Office said, check your DM, Ryan. I was like,
STFU, Ryan.
I was like, oops, I saw it on Facebook this morning. I was like, what is in trouble? What they're going to say to him? He won't care. Yeah, he won't care.
Kind of more than anything, like, I don't want to disrespect Ryan. Don't want to encourage loads of people to come in here blasting you for disrespecting Ryan. This is not about disrespecting Ryan.
No.
It's just about saying, please think about her family right now and what they're going through, because for them to hear a multi-millionaire famous musician sit there with 82,000 comments on his channel while he's saying that he doesn't believe that Kylie ever existed, I just want to say, please, Ryan, just be a little bit respectful of whom you're talking about right now. There is a family whose daughter has passed in a car in a lake. Regardless whether what else you believe, that family is hurting right now, and that family could really do with someone like your support rather than sitting there building conspiracy theories and etc., etc. You may not like the way the police have dealt with it. You may not be happy with the way the investigation's going, any of that stuff. But please don't say this girl never existed. There's people sitting there, families sitting there right now, brokenhearted. They just could have done with your support. That's all I want to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, right up until Ryan saying she didn't exist, I'm still subscribed to him. I like his content, and I like watching him, to be honest. I think he's funny. But a lot of the stuff he was saying, I was like, wow, yeah, I agree with. I can't get my head around the fact that she doesn't exist. That's my only, that's my only thing. I just can't get my head around that. I can't see how they would stage all that. I think certainly there is some staging, but I don't think it's by law enforcement and the family. I think it's more by friends, to be honest. I'd like to ask the people in the chat, going on the theory that I put out regarding who was actually driving the car that night, in my opinion, allegedly. What do you think? Do you think that it was Kylie driving? Just put Kylie. Do you think it was Sammy driving? Just put Sammy. Or have you got another opinion on this? Like, I mean, I'd be really, interested in your opinion on this. We've got Sammy. Just opening my Coke. Sammy. Because she was really good at off-roading. That's how she passed her test. From all the experience of off-roading with Jagger, off-roading all the time. Look at where she lived. It was all mountainous, bloody valleys and sand, pushed in, somebody said. Sammy. Robin's got a crying face, yes. I agree. Brett. Hi, Brett and Maggie May. Celtic Girls here. They all say Sammy. May said Sammy. Janet says Sammy. Anna, stepdad. Do you know, I think I've seen somebody else mention stepdad. But why? Like, what, like, you think he might have had a thing? The thing is, I've not seen him, heard from him, so I can't make a judgment on someone I've not, like, even heard from as such. Emma and Bob. Brett, I wasn't there. It wasn't me.
He says say hello to you.
I know he is. I know. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. It wasn't me, Brett. I didn't do it. I know what you mean. I'm just joking with you.
I was to say, don't let Ryan Upchurchy say that. You'll be next on his list, Yes, you did. You did do it. You were there. I know you were there.
Oh God. Proving Demon Child 666. Oh God, Jodie Sue's in the chat. Stepdad. Sammy is curious why the driver's seat was laying down. That's interesting. Yeah, because Adventures with Purpose wouldn't do that, would they? Why would they lay the seat down? Unless the person that was driving, in exclamation mark, in brackets, lowered the seat to be able to give themselves more room to get out of the window.
Mm-hmm.
Seatbelt off, seat down, out. I don't know. I mean, I can't say it'd be something that would be on my mind, to be honest, about lowering the seat, or she was asleep and they've, like you say, somebody's pushed the car in. So, I mean, that is my thoughts on the situation, my theories. It's all allegedly. Obviously, I have to say that because I wasn't there. Who was? There was only a couple of people that were, and there's only a couple of people that really know. We don't. We're just guessing and having our own opinions and thoughts on it. You're all here because you want to hear what we have to say, and the chat and everybody talking about it. And I do appreciate the little family that we have here. Everybody's so kind and respectful in the chat. So thank you very much. What I would really, really appreciate is if anybody has not watched it's called The Story. And it was the last video that I posted, and it's of Kylie. I'd appreciate it if everybody would go across and check that out, because it took me all day to make. It's got good music with it. I've added videos and photos and kept it going, and it's good, isn't it, Kat? I thought it was quite a good one, really.
Yeah, it was excellent. I thought it was really well done. I enjoyed it. And also Emma does a lot of other true crime documentaries on that channel as well. I'm just getting the link now. I'm going to post it in the chat.
Yeah, if anybody's not subscribed to the second channel is a little bit different to this one. This one is, like today, lives, conspiracy theories, chatting about what could and couldn't have happened, all that kind of stuff, cases that are in the media right now. Whereas this channel, which is my name, is literally you like the little handcuffs, the little kinky handcuffs. And that channel is all crime documentaries. So if you like to be cleaning and you want to be listening to something in the background, it's easy listening, or you laid in bed and like me, I can't go to sleep without listening to some gory crime story or something, then go across to Emmylou, and it's just called Emmylou. And I think the link's going to be put in the chat, and then you can watch any of those documentaries. We'll be adding to them. It is a channel that's growing. Haven't even got 1,000 subscribers at the minute. So, all right, let's get that off the screen. So, guys, thank you for joining us tonight. We do appreciate everyone that's here. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chats. Although we haven't really had the time to be putting your comments on the screen tonight, I have been constantly looking and seeing your names in the chat. So I do know you're there, even though I might not have shouted you out. I can see your names. So thank you for the support. Is there anything you want to say, Kat, before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again for having me on. It's always really nice to come on here and chat with you guys. And also thank you to the Mod Squad, do an amazing job in chat. Great friends on this channel. So thank you so much. And thank you, Emma. And also it's Emma's birthday on the 1st of September, just letting you know.
No, nobody knew.
Nobody knew,
but
you were going to have a live on your birthday, weren't you?
Well, yeah, I was going to go live on my birthday, but the boyfriend wants to take me out. So I've ordered a dress, which, if you're interested to know what it looks like, I have posted a picture of it on Facebook on my Crime Stories Obsessed page, asking for people for their opinions on what they think, because I don't normally buy long dresses. But I'd be interested to know what you think. Leave a comment. And let me know what you think. But yeah, it's Penny's birthday on the 31st. So that's what, a couple of days time. And then my birthday the day after on the 1st. So it's like 2 Virgo birthdays all in 2 days. Yeah, it's going to be busy here. 21 that's again. Yeah, Brett, that's it.
Finally old enough to drink, eh?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, just old enough to drink now. Got a can of cider here. But yeah, so thank you so much for coming in. I will try and go live sometime on my birthday, maybe for a short time, and just say hi to everyone and check in with everyone. Other than that, I will see you soon with some more true crime.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks,
thank you so much. And don't forget to go across and watch The Story. It's all about Kylie. Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.